In the frozen wilderness of Alaska, hunters stalk moose, bears, and sheep. But in the late 1970s and early 1980s, one man was hunting something else. Not animals, but women. This is the disturbing story of Robert Hansen, the butcher baker. A mild-mannered bakery owner by day, and a sadistic serial killer by night. Robert Christian Hansen was born on February 15, 1939 in Esterville, Iowa. The son of strict Danish immigrants, he grew up under the iron fist of a domineering father. Robert worked long hours in the family bakery. His father allowed him no freedom, not even to use his natural left hand. He was forced to become right-handed. As a child, Hansen was painfully shy. He stuttered badly. His face was covered in severe acne. Bullied at school, laughed at by girls, and humiliated for his awkwardness, Robert grew to despise women. While his classmates were dating and having fun, Hansen sat alone with fantasies of revenge. He found solace in two things: guns and hunting. From an early age, Robert was an excellent marksman. He learned to stalk prey with patience, and to kill without hesitation. This obsession with hunting would one day spill over into something much darker. By the 1960s, Hansen was already in trouble. He had been arrested for petty theft and even arson, burning down a bus depot in Iowa. After serving prison time, he remarried, and in 1967 he moved with his new wife Darla to Anchorage, Alaska. Anchorage was booming. The oil pipeline was bringing thousands of workers and money into the state. Hansen saw opportunity. He opened a small bakery. To the public, Robert Hansen was a kind, quiet man. Neighbors called him Bob the Baker. Police officers loved his shop, especially the free pastries he often gave them. His bear claws became famous around town. At the same time, Hansen pursued his true passion: hunting. He was an excellent bow hunter, so skilled that he once set a world record for taking down a Dall sheep with a recurve bow. His basement was filled with trophies, animal heads mounted on the wall, displayed in what he called his man cave. It was his territory, a place even his family was rarely allowed to enter. On the outside, Hansen looked like a hard-working family man, but beneath the surface, his anger toward women and his dark fantasies were boiling. Hansen began frequenting Anchorage's red light district. The oil boom had created a seedy underworld of pimps, prostitutes, and strip clubs. To Hansen, these women were perfect prey. His method was cruel but calculated. He would offer a woman money for sex. Once inside his car, he would pull a gun, handcuff her, and drive her to his home. There, he raped and tortured them in his basement. Sometimes, he would let them go, threatening to kill them and their families if they spoke to police. But other times, the women never came back. Hansen had a private two-seater airplane. He began flying victims to a remote cabin deep in the Alaskan wilderness. There, he would unleash his darkest fantasy: hunting humans like animals. Blindfolded, terrified, and forced into the woods. His victims were given a head start. Then Hansen would stalk them with a rifle or bow, just as he had hunted moose and bears as a boy. When he killed them, he often took jewelry as trophies, and then he buried their bodies in secret graves, marking each spot with an X on his map. Between 1971 and 1983, dozens of women went missing in Anchorage. Many were never seen again. In 1983, Robert Hansen's hidden life began to unravel. One night in Anchorage, he encountered a 17-year-old dancer named Cindy Paulson. She agreed to meet him, thinking he was simply a customer. But when she stepped into his vehicle, she quickly realized something was terribly wrong. According to Cindy's account, she was restrained and taken to Hansen's home. Inside the basement, she noticed the walls decorated with hunting trophies, medals, and awards. She later said that at that moment she understood her life was in serious danger. Hansen, however, seemed calm and deliberate. He showed off his achievements as if proving his skill and power. After hours of fear and intimidation, Cindy saw an opportunity. Hansen was preparing his small aircraft, planning to fly her to a remote cabin in the Alaskan wilderness. While he loaded supplies into the plane, Cindy, still handcuffed, made a desperate decision. She ran. Barefoot and terrified, she sprinted across the airfield until she reached a passing vehicle. The driver, shocked by her condition, helped her and immediately alerted authorities. Police soon learned the man Cindy described was Robert Hansen. Witnesses at the airfield confirmed his presence, and the license plate of his vehicle was recorded. For the first time, investigators had a survivor's testimony that connected Hansen directly to a crime. Despite this, Hansen denied any wrongdoing. His friends, and even respected members of the community, attempted to provide him with an alibi. For a while, it seemed he might once again escape justice. But detectives continued their investigation. They discovered that several unsolved disappearances in Alaska matched Cindy's story. Many of the missing women were from Anchorage's vulnerable communities. And disturbingly, some of the remains that had been found in remote areas bore evidence of a hunter's weapon. The profile built by the FBI pointed to a quiet, socially awkward man, highly skilled in hunting, who likely kept trophies of his kills. It described Robert Hansen perfectly. Police obtained a warrant to search Hansen's home. What they found shattered his image as a harmless baker. Hidden in his attic was the murder weapon, a Ruger Mini 14 rifle, a bag of jewelry belonging to victims, and behind the headboard of his bed, a map. On it were 24 X's, marking grave sites in the Alaskan wilderness. Confronted with overwhelming evidence, Hansen confessed. He admitted to killing at least 17 women, though authorities believe the true number is more than 30. He described how he abducted, raped, hunted, and murdered his victims. In 1984, Robert Hansen was sentenced to 461 years, plus life in prison without parole. He died behind bars in 2014 at the age of 75. For over a decade, Robert Hansen lived two lives. To his neighbors, he was Bob the Baker. To his victims, he was a predator, a sadistic hunter who treated human beings as game. The story of the butcher baker reminds us that evil often hides in plain sight, sometimes behind the smile of the man who serves you pastries in the morning.